Okay, Georgia, today we're going to try and figure out which of our garden plants is a monocot or a dicot. Have you heard of those before?
No, I haven't.
Okay, well, garden plants are any ones you find in your garden, and basically they can be broken into two different classifications. We have monocots and dicots, and generally monocots have one embryo.
What are embryos?
Embryo in the seed. Now, we're not going to do this today, but inside the seed of a monocot plant, it will have one embryo, and inside the seed of a dicot plant, it will have two embryos. So unless we've got a seed and sliced it open, we wouldn't know that yet. But we can tell by a few characteristics on these plants and determine which ones are monocots and dicots. Okay, now why would we want to do that?
To figure out what sort of plants are plants?
Yep, okay, that's good. Yep, well, it helps us figure out where we want to plant things and which ones are going to last longer, and also it matters which pesticides and herbicides you use, because some herbicides will only kill dicots and some herbicides will only kill monocots, because you don't want to, like when you've got on your lawn and you have dandelions, you've seen these before?
Yeah.
Okay, some herbicides will only kill these, which is your dandelions, and this one is a dicot. And we'll have a look at this one now, because it's got one of the main features of this one is the big taproot system, which makes it really hard to pull out of the ground. You've tried to pull one of these out of the ground before, pretty hard?
I fell over.
Yeah, okay. Wonderful. So they give a good root system and give the plant a good sturdy life to survive in the ground. So have a look at these plants I've got here, and just from looking at it, well, not too close, without, what can you see that might be different?
The colour, the size difference, and the leaves.
And the leaves. The leaves are particularly one, oops, we'll move that out of the way, one important point on figuring out whether a plant is a monocot or a dicot. Monocot leaves usually have veins running up the leaf stem. Can you see that? If not, grab your magnifying glass and have a bit of a look, and you'll see the veins on the back of the leaf running up in parallel lines. Now this other plant, pick that up if you wish. We've got our gloves on so we're safe. And flip that leaf over.
That looks way different.
It does.
Has more veins on it.
More veins, and that's why they call it a dicot. They've got a leaf, like a net-like veins across the backs of the leaves.
So that's the difference between monocot and dicot leaves?
That's right. And even though the root systems are a bit finer, we can tell here, you have a bit of a look on the bottom of the root system. So because we've got our veiny leaves here, we've got a fibrous root system. So we've got lots of roots coming out of there. And on this one, as you can tell from this is a dicot leaf, a dicot plant. It's got one main taproot down there with some feathery roots coming off the bottom.
Okay.
So another thing that helps you determine whether a plant is a monocot or a dicot is the petals on the leaves. On a monocot, they generally come in multiples of 3. So you'll have three petals, or 6 petals, or 9 petals. And in the dicots, they usually come in multiples of 4 or 5.
Okay.
So, and with that, we're not going to chop any of the stems off today, but if we got a microscope and chop the stem off inside the tube, the vascular tubing inside the monocots, the tissue, the tubes that run up it to feed it, generally are all over the place, but within a dicot, it's in a ring like a donut. So it goes like a big donut funnel up the stem.
Okay.
So this is good for you to know if you're planting or gardening, or if you're going to do any weeding in the garden or spraying in the garden, that you know that might help you figure out where you'd plant your plants or which pesticides you'd use, herbicides you'd use to kill the weeds. And so you don't kill your grass, you only want to kill the dandelions.